United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda, public speaking.
I got something. That same old thing I got. I was wondering how any update on Young Road.
I've got one.
Well, you know, it's been, if you live over there, you count the days, I guess. 926 days since that road's been closed. Did you know that? That 926 days?
It was, what was the last one? 900?
I don't know. 898 was last month, it's 926 this month.
But I haven't got no update on it yet.
I mean, you haven't talked to Jeff May?
Pardon?
You haven't talked to Jeff May?
We talked to Jeff, who we up with?
Last week, wasn't it?
I put it into the record.
Wasn't since the last meeting.
Oh, it's been since last meeting.
Yeah. What they was up there, got them records for.
Yeah, it was,
Well,
He hadn't heard nothing yet right then.
he hadn't heard anything. Well, I talked to him Friday.
Friday.
I talked to him Friday.
I haven't talked to him since then. No.
Have you talked to, what's his name, Clinton Coomsley, over Buckley?
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to him?
Yeah.
Coomsley over Buckley?
Just got an email from him that he wanted us to send a letter to our prosecutor, let him know we was entering a contract with Allen Stone on Park Road.
Oh.
That's all I've heard from him.
Well, that's not good news. What's going on with you on that, Bob? Do you know what's going on?
I think.
I ask the same questions every month. I've been coming here for 2.5 years, and I ask the same questions, and I never get any answers. Now that's odd, I think. You know,
I think.
there's something wrong.
I think they're still waiting on the links yet, to decide on the links.
You think?
Well, that's the last word I had.
Bob, 2.5 years ago, it was this big. Now it's this big. And if we wait any longer, you're gonna have to have more money.
I understand.
That road just keeps, I watch it, I go down there a couple times a month. And every time it rains, it's a little longer. It's a little more work. Now, we can wait long enough, but it's gonna be a $1 million job. It started out about $180,000, if I remember right, from one of the first estimates.
No, it was for something.
Well, it was for something when the funding was requested. I mean, the funding's right here, $396,386.
$480-some thousand when Jeff measured it out, but that was the full length that we're trying to get now. Then he shortened it, and now they're saying we gotta go back that other 50 foot.
Who's saying that we gotta go back the other 50 feet?
The engineers, Jeff and me.
Jeff said I just talked to Jeff, and he says he's almost done with the whole project. He got all the funding, he did everything he could, and he's about ready to wash his hands of it. Now, that's what he tells me.
Well,
And he says, in your all's ballpark. He can't, he says, I can't do much more. I got the funding for him, I did all this,
Right.
and the funding's been available since, you know when the funding was available?
It's been 6 months or better.
It was
But Quentin ain't got the design, so they can't do nothing till they get it designed.
Well, who's gotta do the design?
Huh?
Who does the design?
Clinton, Buckley Group. They're doing the engineering and the design.
What's their holdup?
I don't know.
Well, why don't we ask? What is the holdup? I mean, why don't we ask, Bob?
Every time I call up there, I get the same answer, we're waiting on the links. I can't design it till I get the links.
Well, what's the length? Go out there and take a tape measure and measure it. I mean, it can't be that hard to get. I'm not saying you should measure it, but they should measure it. The length.
I'll call them again tomorrow.
Well, that's what I heard last month. You know, Bob, I come here every month, and you've got a whole month to get to answer ready to answer some questions, and no one does it. I ask the same questions every month, and those people over there are saying, they're worthless. We don't, we get a little bit of stone on the road, we don't get it mowed, we don't get chip and seal. I see this nice chip and seal out here though. One house on it. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry, I had to interject that because we like a little, you know, get our tax dollars back a little bit too, once in a while. But the fact is that you've had the funding since March 7th, that's when we got there, you signed the application, and nothing's moved. They did a few borings, they did a little this, a little that, and it's done with. We're tired, Bob. You know, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Well,
It'll be 3 years in May.
What do you think I think of the deal?
I don't know what you think. You never tell me.
Well, you don't listen to what I tell
I'm
you.
telling you, I'm listening right now. Tell me what you think.
I wanna get it done too, just as quick as I can get it done, but I can't engineer it and do it. I can't.
No, but you can step on some feet. You're a township trustee. You're our representative. You're our representative.
Well, let me put it this way, the two other trustees sitting right here and they ain't done a damn thing with it.
Well, that's your problem.
Well,
That's your guys' problem. If you guys can't get along and
I
decide.
can't do it all.
You can't do it all. Well, I'm
I
not.
can't do it all.
No, I don't,
You know, I
you
think
guys
the
have your own
meeting-
relationship, and that's not the point. That's not the point I'm trying to make.
Well,
The point is that it's been almost 1 or 3 years without, and the road keeps getting worse and worse, and the project keeps getting worse and worse, and no one seems to care.
Well, that's the wrong statement, because I do care.
Well, I
And I'm
said,
trying.
you may in fact care, Bob, but you don't seem to,
Whatever.
by actions.
I'm done talking about it, whatever.
What-
I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
you have to do something, Bob. You have to do something. Be an advocate for us. Go out there and call people on the phone and say, hey, what is the holdup? What is the holdup? If you can't do the job, Mr. Buckley, or whatever your name is, Kensley, we'll find somebody that can. They've been waiting, that contract with them has been since February. And nothing's been done. You wouldn't tolerate that if it was out of your place for a private contract. I wouldn't tolerate it. You sign a contract and they fall asleep and go someplace else. If they can't handle more than one job at a time, they don't deserve any. Now, I'm sorry, Bob, but we're getting off, you know, it's ridiculous.
I even offered to turn the slips over to these guys.
Well, okay, good.
Neither one of them wanted to handle it. So, you know, I sit here and take a beating every meeting, and I'm trying to get.
Hey, Willie, get your act in gear, right? Okay? I'm done. Okay, does that suit you, Bob? Now I'm talking to Will. Hey, Rance, let's get your act in gear, you know? People who are on Young Road are getting tired of waiting. There. Okay, Bob, you happy?
No.
You're the president, and that's why I'm
Because
talking to you.
I ain't happy because the slip ain't done yet. When that slip's done, I'll be happy, real happy.
You won't be the only one. But the fact is that we're awfully unhappy over there.
I'm done talking about it.
Look,
I don't know what else to say.
sure you do. Here's what you can say, Bob. I will get on the phone, and by the next month, by January meeting, I will have answers for you all people up on the road. I will have answers about why there's a holdup and when there's a schedule.
I'll try.
You're gonna have to try. You're gonna do more try. You're gonna have to do it. Thank you.
Anybody else? If not, reading the bill, motion to pay the bill.
Motion to pay the bills if funds are sufficient.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
The note came due for the building of the firehouse. That was $4,200.76. And that breaks down into $3,905.37 worth of principal and $295.39 worth of interest. That was that was a 10-year loan at around $4,000, per year, for the payoff, on this. And that particular amount comes out of the fire fund, it does not come out of our general fund. Again, that check was $4,200.76. I believe this is all of the stone bills for Elko. We did have 2 pieces in here from the chip and seal that finished up, number 57. And then we also had number 617, and that can be paid out of the ARP fund. That total bill was $4,016.10. And tractor supply, this was, it was for bed spray for, I believe it was the red dump truck, am I correct? No, I'm sorry, it was, bed spray, that was for the fire truck, am I correct, for the skid unit? Because it said firehouse on it. It was bed spray and hardware, and then there were shop items for the truck. And it was tagged as, firehouse.
Oh, there was a can of spray paint.
Yeah, well, it said bed spray is what it said.
Okay,
So-
it sounded like it was spray paint. It was a single can, but
Yeah, it was $103.27 for
Yeah,
that
no
tractor
hardware.
supply. TV One Stop, it was a little bit of hardware. That total was $39.75. There was one hardware bill of $24.76, and then there was another bill for $14.99. We had the, bill for the March radios. I tried to pay it online because that's how they want us to actually do it. But for some reason it would not, it kept coming back and telling me that it kept declining the credit card. And there's nothing wrong with the credit card, so I just went ahead and wrote the check. It is for $60, and this is for July through, October. And then there'll be another one due, and I don't know if it will come, I don't know if they'll send it before the end of the year or if it will show up in January. I don't know.
See, it was for the March.
Yeah, it was for the March radios. Yeah, it's for all the units at the firehouse. And that's just the rental on it. We had Menard's bill. We had fire of $89.99, that was for an area light. Then we had, other just miscellaneous, we had drill bits, PVC pipe, cement, masonry grinding, metal cutting, all the stuff that they need for the shop. That total was $203.04.
For what?
Huh?
Let me see that.
Okay.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, they had a light, which is right here, for the firehouse, it was $89.99. And then the other items, each one is a separate sheet unto itself. This was a drill bit, the next page up, there was PVC, it was, PVC pipe, PVC cement, a PVC cap, a nail adapter. And then the next page was batteries, was a drive bit set, an engraver, metal cutting, an
That
engraving
PVC
wheel.
pipe was the roller one, half inch, and you put the spray ball in.
I think it was, let's give an amount, well, that was PVC.
It's half inch PVC, you got a cap, nail adapter, schedule 40 PVC pipe.
Yeah. That's what it was, that's for the roller.
That's what had me puzzled, what were you using? recent time. Okay.
We had Bond's lumber, it was for the cinder box, it was $30.15. Miller Communications, this was for the firehouse, it was $165. It was to, the Miller technician came out, I wasn't sure that this was actually ours when it was sent to my email, because it says the Miller technician traveled to Coolville Volunteer Fire Department to repair, a no TX and a no RX on Unit 51's Motorola, which I knew was ours, and then it said repair authorized by Jim Allen, so they just have it listed as Coolville Volunteer Fire Department instead of Carthage Volunteer Fire Department. So, I'm sure it's not a big, huge issue, but, you know, I just wanna make sure that it was just, because I was questioning it for a while, until I reread it. It was $165. It was 10 for the connectors, it was 100 for the technician to come out, and 35 for the service call. Fire safety services, this is for, an Avenger nozzle with the pistol grip, and it's 2 of them. At 75 PSI, it was $1307.50. And the last one is for Southeast Equipment. This one is for the contract for the skid steer that was brought in to, replace the backhoe that was there for, fixing. And this was for the period of 11/3 through 11/29, it was $1,200, and then to have it loaded, it was $200, so that bill was $1,400.
To have it, what?
It says skid steer loader, non-taxable government, rental charges. The rental charges are $200, and then the skid steer loader, non-taxable, is $200, which is a rental charge. And then we also have the bill for Southeast Equipment, which was paid last week, to fix the skid steer. It was someplace. See if I find it. $10,279.18 to actually fix the backhoe. We had AC Green Metal Works, $520, you guys signed all this last week. Rainmore Petroleum, it was $5,856 for diesel and mainly just diesel plain and, dyed, and then a little bit of gas. We had, so the total for the entire month was $84,784.66 from November the 8th through December the 5th. That's how much money was between payroll and all of the bills that were actually outstanding. We had asphalt materials, $26,114.02. If anyone wants to know how much it costs for 2 tons of sealant, it was $26,000. So it was not cheap. You guys have a copy of this if you want to look at it. And here's payroll, which is the same as it was last month. Payroll doesn't change. I will sign those back and you guys hand it back to me. you can look on here, I mean, we had everything from early retirement to Frontier, to the AEP, to, Department of Taxation, Summers Rubber, more with TP One Stop, I mean, there was a variety of things that came out. And that's why it was so large, this particular month. Like I said, it was $84,784.66.
You're still paying Frontier?
Yes, for the actual phone that hangs, I guess hangs on the wall, sits on the desk. It is a lower percentage, it's like, cause we don't have that new bill that's adjusted yet. They adjusted it down to $123.20, but it will be less than $100, just to have the phone on the wall.
What was the gross payroll for this month? Say it was the same as last month, but what was it this month?
Well, the guys stay the same, the guys change a little bit, but as far as what ours is,
Why is $1 figure?
doesn't change. Total earnings, total earnings for last, from 11/8 to 12/5 was $10,034, I'm sorry, $10,346.91.
That's gross?
That's gross pay, yes,
That's
sir.
gross pay, that's all the fringes and all this.
Yes, that's gross pay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, as I said, that was for 11/8. Any checks that were written between 11/8 and 12/5.
That's what you just paid today?
What?
Through 12/5 is what was paid? today?
Well, ours is, the gentlemen get paid every 2 weeks, so they would have had another paycheck
I see.
in through there.
The workers.
The workers, they had, in 11/15, there was $1,115, one was $1,245. This past week, it was $1,098.61, and $1,005.94. Mine is the same, my net was $13.96, Bob and Ranson is $887, no, I'm sorry, Ranson's is $887.30, so is Willie's, and Bob's is $837.30. Which they're, you'll have to look on their gross is like $1,013, I believe. And mine's like $1,600. Is that?
Yeah, that's fine, thank you.
Okay. I didn't know if that answered your question.
You did.
Okay. That's it, that's all I have for, bills. That's all that came in as of right now. These minutes were for November the 7th, 2022, here at the meeting room at 7 o'clock. In attendance was Bob Pullins, Willie Guest, Ransom Calloway, myself, Gail Buckley, Chief Jim Allen, and then the additional sheet for the additional names that were here. Robert Pullins called the meeting to order with the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. Public speaking, Mr. St. Angelo stated that the water project is up and running. Tubbers Plains Chester Water is taking tap fees of $1,100 for any resident who wants city water. It will benefit 41 households, and at the current 25 households are committed. Mr. St. Angelo asked about Young Road progress. Bob stated that it's at a standstill. The engineer stated that it needs to increase the length of the wall. Mr. St. Angelo is upset at the progress of Young Road. Bob stated that Park Road needs a wall extension as well. Robert Pullins asked for the bills and a motion to pay the bills if money is sufficient. Willie made the motion to pay the bills. Ranson seconded, all approved. All bills were paid, payroll was signed and given to the trustees and the fiscal officer. All end of the month paperwork was given to the trustees. Mr. St. Angelo asked why all roads weren't chipped and sealed. Bob stated that Ranson's roads were done. They will be doing Blackwood Road. The cost of product and equipment breakage And all money that is in the chip and seal fund will carry over for roads next year. Mr. San Angelo wants Young Road done next year. Minutes were read, Ransom made a motion to accept the minutes as read with no corrections, Willie seconded, all approved. The correspondence was read and approved. There were two items from the water department, one for Warner Road and Varner Road for boring under road for water taps. Ransom made a motion to accept, Willie seconded, all approved. Old business, estimate to have the backhoe fixed from Southeastern Equipment is around $89.63 for parts and labor. The Moyes Road culvert is replaced. New business, Ransom presented one rental for the firehouse of $25 cash. The big red dump truck had a cylinder broke, need to have it fixed. The whole left side of the subframe will need to be fixed as well. Willie made a motion to fix the big red dump truck and to have J.J. Jones repair. Bob seconded, all approved. The big white truck has to be jumped each morning. Bob thinks the new starter is bad. Ransom stated that Steve thought it needed new batteries. From Dave Washburn's to Day Hill is ready for chip and seal. Hopefully Thursday is the day that they will be chipping and sealing it. The township is waiting for the stone quarry to move the last of the large equipment. The trustees said they will ask Lodi to borrow their water truck to spray the road before chip and seal. Firehouse news. The firehouse presented their activity sheet for October. They had 7 runs. Ransom read the report so the residents would have a better understanding as to what the fire department does each month. They would like to replace the older 2650 truck. The trustees discussed money options. A motion was made by Willie to use $20,000 from the fire fund and $40,000 from the ARPA fund money, and a cap of $60,000 for truck and all the items for the truck. Ransom seconded, all approved. The firehouse currently does not have internet due to the inability for Frontier to have parts to fix it. Starlink and HughesNet are 2 options to get internet. Jim said he would look into options. The next meeting will be December the 5th, 2022 at 7 o'clock. Bob asked for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Ransom made a motion to adjourn the meeting while Willie seconded.
Any corrections or additions to the minutes?
Hearing no additions or corrections, I'll move the minutes be approved as read.
Second.
Second.
All approved? Aye. Correspondence? I have one.
Go ahead.
This is, mileage sheets from the state. I'm supposed to contact them, I'm supposed to be able to sign them, they haven't got the signed paper yet. That's just the mileage from the,
Did anything change?
um, 43 point something.
Oh, 43.02.
Now, am I correct that that amount, that mileage also goes through our, road and bridge? Am I correct on that? That's how they pay part of our,
That's the number of miles they use.
That's just the
Yeah.
number of miles that they use that they say we maintain.
okay,
That's what how they calculate do the calculations, that's the mileage they use.
okay.
You get reimbursed per mile? Is that how you get funded?
Pardon?
Is it you're funded per mile, is that how it is, 43 miles?
Yeah, so much a mile.
How much is it a mile?
Ain't very much, around $400, something like that.
$400 a mile from the state?
Something like that, I think.
What funding source is it from the state?
Huh?
What funding source is it?
It's from the state.
What department of the state? What is it?
Department of Transportation, I'd say.
Is it right? Transportation? Once a year?
Yeah,
$400 a year per month,
pretty much somewhere in
per mile per year?
there. See, everything, we run on property tax, more or less. We don't get a whole lot of money from the state. One for our property tax levies and stuff, wouldn't hardly ever operate. Right now, the gas tax is helping us out a lot.
Yeah, it usually runs about $11,000 to $13,000 a month. And that's what we use to pay the workers. It can also use to be paid, equipment repair, in the township.
You got anything?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch, sorry. It's this time of the year. We received our, Bureau of Workmen's Compensation, we received our policy renewal. And of course, they like you to, if you can, to pay the entire thing, because you get usually a 2% discount, which I know doesn't seem like a whole lot, but, if you have the option to receive a 2% discount by paying the full 12-month estimated annual premium on or before January 3rd. So I just need a motion to ask if you want to pay the entire $1,278, or to break it up into monthly of $106.46. Which, if you figure that,
I make a motion to pay it all. Get it over with.
we usually do make the payment each year, one time. And then you have, and then you have a, rectification, usually at the beginning of the year, that says, okay, this is actually how much our wages were. You go in and do it online, and then it will tell you if you need to, pay any additional amount on your, workman's comp. Okay, and then here's the new policy. It's just a simple, from 1/3/23 to 24. It's just a simple, we'll make copies and then we'll post them. I received a letter from the Bureau of Workmen's Compensation that says that, they wanna do an audit notification letter. It was a audit notification letter that just says that they wanna meet with us and they just wanna look at our payroll records, including year-end summaries and any worksheets, federal income tax, W-3s, records showing the year-end, if you have 125s or section 457, which is deferred compensation deductions, which we don't have, 1099s and documentation, annual roster of all emergency volunteers, and it's just one of those crazy things, just like jury duty. Your name kind of goes in a hat, and once in a while, your name gets picked out and your township gets picked, and you have to do an audit. So, I emailed the lady, and she said that in the next few weeks, she would be getting in touch with me, to set up an appointment here at the shop. Keith is on, we laid him off, at the end of October. And several phone calls to me, several phone calls to the unemployment office, ODJ. I think we finally got him straightened out. I have not heard from him this week. They sent paperwork to us, filled it out, faxed it back into them on the day that it was supposed to be there, no later. He called the following week, said, I still can't get unemployment. So I spent probably 2 hours on the phone trying to talk to an actual person, and I finally did. The lady was super nice, and she said, ma'am, she said, everything on your end you have done. She said, it looks like something has been keyed in incorrectly on his end. Now, I don't know, that's all she told me. I received another notification, it's just it's a request to employer for separation information. I filled the information out again, I mailed it back out to them as well. So they can't say that I'm not attempting to do everything that I'm supposed to do so he can get his unemployment. As I said, I don't know, he called last Tuesday, and said that there was something that they went in and did, and he had to call back on Wednesday, and I've not heard from him, so I assume everything went well. I told him, I said, let me know if you don't hear of anything, or if you can't get any information. We received an email from, this email goes long, that we needed to, because we were under bid, we needed to send the assistant prosecuting attorney a note saying that we were under contract with Buckley Group for the Roadside Park Road. I just forwarded the email all to Zach West's email to let him take care of it on his end.
The letter said we would be in contract with Allen Stone.
I'm sorry, Allen Stone, not Buckley Group. I apologize, Bob. That was my fault. Too many things. We received our renewal notice for the Ohio Labor Law Postal Service. They want about $100 for the labor law posters. But you can go online. We've done it in the past. You online, print them out, and then you can hang them within your facility. You just have to find the free ones. We received for Randy Moore Petroleum, it's our once a year tax certification. So it's just a certificate saying that yes, we are tax exempt and why we are tax exempt. Had a little snafu with the credit card. I was balancing, I was putting all the receipts with the credit card, and I had this one transaction, and it was, I thought, I don't know what this is. It was called Amazon Marketplace for $53.61 on 8/10. So I'm on the phone with card member services. We get the card, we get it taken care of, and I go back to doing my work, and you know how a light bulb just pops in your head? And I was looking through more of my invoices, and it was for the time cards for the workers. So I had to call them back and say it's not a fraud, but by then they had canceled the card, so we have the credit card has a new number. But we got all that taken care of. There was no fraud suspected or anything like that, but there was several sheets of paper that it came with from the credit card company. So they even sent a, thanking me that I was calling back to let them know that it actually was it was a real service. But that was the day after I broke my leg, so I'll just be honest with you, it's no wonder that I couldn't remember we, on the guys' time cards, I put letters in their time cards, or in their checks last week, because Roy, he had received, after his probation period, he is allotted sick leave for the remaining of the year. So the way that you do that, you take the 4 hours and divide it by 12, or they get 48 hours a month, 48 hours a year. You divide that by 12 months, which is 4 hours a month. So you take past his, and so it's 8 months at 4 hours, so he received 32 hours of sick leave, so that was adjusted on his card, And Steve's was the same way, because Steve, in April, he received his extra 2 years because he's 2-week vacation because he's been here for 5 years, so that was adjusted on his, time card as well. But I just wanted to let you know that I put those in there, so they were well aware of it. I had to request on the 7th from the auditor, it was just a supplemental increase in our permanent appropriation for 2022 for our, gasoline tax and our 2231, which is our, permissive motor vehicle license tax. And it was in the amount of $12,500. It was just to increase it so we could finish paying bills for the rest of the month, or the rest of the year. So you'll find this a lot toward the end of the year, because you make your budget based on what you think you're going to have, but different things come up, just like the, cost of the, backhoe to have it done. It wasn't, because you don't budget those in, because you don't know that you're gonna have expenses that large. So there's always play within our budget. We never spend exactly what we have in the fund. You always have to leave about 20% to make sure that you've got room. On the 15th, I sent an increase in our permanent appropriations, and it's for the fund account 2041, which is the chip and seal fund, from $81,500 to $96,500, and that was to increase to actually pay the rest of the chip and seal tankers that we had, the 2 tankers that we had. On the 17th of November, they came and picked up the rental case on a Friday, which no one was here. So when they picked it up, they sent us a bill for $130 for to put gas in it.
No,
Okay.
let me explain this.
Okay.
They called and said it was coming Friday to pick the hoe up. Okay? As soon as they got off the phone, they must have come pick the hoe up. 'Cause our guys were using it to load stone with. And they brought the skid steer. Our guys didn't have time to fill it up with fuel, so that's what the $140-some fuel charge.
Okay. And I just wrote a note. Bob asked me if I would just write a note that said, you know, this letter is to, from the trustees, and they just wanted to let that there was a fuel charge for the equipment due to the fact that the rental was picked up early and the workers were not in the township. They weren't in the building working. They were out on the road.
They
So-
knew about it before you sent them a letter. I was on the phone the next day.
Well, and that's fine, but I just wanted to let you know that I did put it in when I, sent the bill, or sent the check. We received a note from Twin Oaks Refrigeration, a Christmas card, the Bobcat, which is, if you guys wanna buy that, and then this is just Office Depot. It's just, I don't know, I think they're trying to sell office, yeah. Ink toner, office supplies, but these aren't till, next year, in January. So, that's it for correspondence that I have. I told you it was a lot.
Old business. Any old business? I think we're gonna fix the red dump truck ourselves, Willie. I got it cut out over there, got pieces made, and I'm gonna have probably less than $1,200 in it. How about the welder?
He didn't call.
I'll wait around here all day for him.
He didn't call. I kept
I've been
waiting.
working on that sputter box over there, trying to get it to run all day.
I'll see what happened to him.
Any other old business? If not, move to new business.
Well, after all the discussion about the skid steer and all that, our hoe is back.
Yeah, it's fine, it's running good.
New business, we had one rental at the firehouse.
$25 cash.
Mm-hmm.
While we're on new business, we need to discuss the end of the year meeting and organizational meeting, when and what time.
And also, before we get to that, these guys, Christmas falls on
So the-
Sunday this year. Okay? They get Christmas Eve off as a holiday.
Yeah, Christmas Eve is one of the good holidays.
But if we give them, pay them for Christmas Eve, that means we're gonna be paying them 48 hours the week of the 18th.
It won't be overtime, it'll just be 40 hours straight and then 10 hours holiday.
Well,
Can I say something? Usually, companies that have, when a holiday, a paid holiday falls on the weekend, usually, if your holiday is on Saturday, which is Christmas Eve day, they get Friday off.
Right.
They get Friday off. They don't get paid 48 hours, they just get Friday off. And then they get Monday off for Christmas, which is on Sunday. So they get Friday, Saturday,
Right.
Sunday, Monday off.
right, they
They don't
also
get paid, they
get
don't-
Christmas Eve off with the holiday.
Excuse me?
Christmas Eve off with the holiday
That's Saturday,
on Saturday,
and that, they take it on Friday.
and you're off on Friday. So, my question is, do we pay them 48 hours, or give them another day off through the week? If they work 4 10s, 19th to 22nd, that's at 40 hours.
Yeah, they should have no problem taking another day off. When we had this discussion about 8 hours and 10 hours, it was fine with them to take another day off. It doesn't regard this situation we're talking now, but they were willing to take another day off through the week. Won't that apply
So
here?
they'll be off.
They would
Thursday
have to,
through
we
Monday.
have to pay them 48 hours. If they get 8 hours holiday pay, doesn't matter what.
Mhm.
So,
So they'll be off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and work Tuesday, Wednesday, be back off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Monday, the following week too.
they'll work,
Yeah, because it falls into January.
Because New Year's Day is one.
they'll be off on the 29th. Be off on the 29th again.
Right. So they'd only work Tuesday and Wednesday that week.
So, what do we wanna do? Give them Thursday off, pay them 40 hours, working 4 days, pay them 8 hours off. If it snows, they're gonna be working anyway,
Regardless, yes.
regardless. What is
Now,
it?
they get 10 hours for holiday pay, or they get 8?
Now you pay 10.
They get paid
They
10.
go on 10, they get paid.
I didn't know whether,
They won't be losing their pay.
right, but I didn't know whether they had set limit hours on holiday pays. Because you're gonna get X amount of holiday pay per year.
They have 2 days.
They got 10 days, so they get 100 hours, or they get 80 hours. So you get 100 hours.
They work 10 hour days.
My thing is, get the Thursday off, Christmas Eve, Thursday off, and New Year's Eve, pay them 40 hours. And if it snows, you gotta be out here, they're gonna get overtime anyway, so.
Yeah.
And Any way you look at it, it's overtime. What do you guys?
Seems like it would work for me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll tell them one. Now, the end of the year meeting. I can't be here on the 30th. And any other time I can. We usually have it, our end of the year meeting, 9 o'clock in the morning. Because we have so much paperwork and stuff, sometimes it's way afternoon when we get done.
Yeah, cause you guys will have the budget, and you'll have to look
We
at.
didn't last year. We didn't last year.
I gave you the totals of what the budget would be.
We ended up coming in the evening.
No, it was, you're right, it was the evening. I'm not sure why, I vaguely, we ended up doing it at 7 o'clock.
Really?
We didn't last year, cause I was here and it was in the evening.
Yeah.
But we can do it whenever.
And that may have been why.
I mean, I don't care.
That may have been why.
Is there any conflict in the moving back a day on the 29th?
There's no conflict with me, I'm off.
Thursday?
It's more your guys'.
I'll be here anytime. Except the
Except the
30th.
30th.
Be here the 30th.
Day meeting? 29th, day
Okay.
meeting?
Okay.
I move,
What you guys?
we have our year-end meeting Thursday the 29th, 9 AM.
You okay with that, Willie?
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
And then the organizational meeting will just be
This
regular.
organizational meeting will call.
What's the date?
29th.
29th.
Time?
9 AM.
That's December 29th?
Yes, sir.
December. I can't.
I think it was because we swore blue.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was because we had a changing of the guard, so to speak.
Yeah, because you wasn't officially. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I got it. We was here with, that's where we at on the audit?
We are almost done. We are trying to, we had a credit card back in July that I'm still trying to locate the receipts for.
I mean, my God,
Because
this
it
been
was
going
for,
on since,
the problem is, it was when you guys worked on the fire truck, when you blew the engine in the fire truck, and you ordered parts online. One was from a Jane's Auto Parts in New York, which I was able to find the receipt finally. Then you bought grader parts. The grader parts were from a Red River out of someplace in Texas. And I
That
called
would
it,
have been loader parts, not grader parts.
I'm sorry, loader parts, it was for the big loader. And the problem is, I have called twice and asked the lady to find me a receipt for that, and she is not, I can't get anywhere with her on that one. The problem is, if I can't find the receipts, then I have to pay the amounts that I can't find for those receipts out of my own pocket, which is almost $1,500. So that's when I gripe at everybody about having receipts, this is the reason. So when we come into an audit and I don't have a receipt to match a bill, then I'm the one that ends up having to pay for it. So that's where we're at right now. So Lisa and I'm working diligently to try to come up with receipts, to find the receipts for those.
my question is, we're gonna have enough money in the bank to pay the auditor.
Should be able to, I mean, we don't have the, I don't have the
Well,
bill
last
yet,
time
so.
was $10,000, and my God, this time's been going on since.
But they haven't been working on it the whole time, so. But that's where we're at on that particular one, so I'm just letting you know. And it may come down, if I can't find it, it's called a, I can't think what she calls it. It's basically where you don't have documentation to, and I'll just have to do it. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's, my fault because I can't find the receipts, so.
What's the status on the,
I'm waiting on a letter from Zach's office. I sent it to him, and then he sent it back to me and said, I actually need a copy of the whole grant, so he has to look over it to make sure before he puts his name on it, before he sends me any documentation.
the grant, where?
What?
The USDA grant.
Okay, that was my question,
Sorry.
USDA grant. He has to have what?
He has to have he had to see the entire grant
Oh.
before he would sign off and say that all the information is correct.
Gotcha.
So he sent it back to me and said, no, I need a copy of all of it so I can go through it to make sure everything is on the up and up.
What's the USDA grant for, and how much is it?
Equipment.
How much is it?
It could be up to $40,000. That's all I know right now, so that's where we're at.
We had Southeast bring us up to skid steer, they're making a decision whether to get it or.
I did contact, you had asked about, when he was here, whatever his name is, Pennington, had asked about, if we could actually do a loan or if it had to be a bond. I did call the auditor, or I sent him the auditor email, and she got back with me and said that yes, other townships have done that particular loan rather than a bond, and she said yes, it is all in the up and up and it can be done through the township.
I think we ought to hold off, see how it come out on the USDA grant, just apply it to it.
That might be the
My
better
opinion.
course. What do you think?
Yeah, probably so.
Fred been calling me and I told him, I said, we hadn't decided nothing yet, so. We'll just hold off on it, maybe we'll have something in the 29th meeting. Any other new business? If not, motion to close?
A little bit of information passed on from the fire department. It was a quiet month for us, so we only had that one run. We went out there to Vanderhook Church and set up an LZ for the EMS. That's the only thing we had in November. And in the next few months, we're going to be working on a couple grants. One's through the BWC, and it's up to $40,000 on it. We only pay 25%
That's
of
what
it.
these are, that's what this is.
That's what the information is in front of you.
So what can you use that for?
What I'm gonna put in for it is for the battery powered rescue tools.
What does that consist of?
I've got to do it too, it breaks it all down there, what I gotta do, I gotta get the policy number and other information from Gail here. And, forward it, and then get the application filled out and turn it back into the state.
I put them grants out there too.
And then another grant we're gonna be looking at is from ODNR again. And we're looking at possibly just the forestry hose and possible maybe 1 or 2 portable pumps. And it's a matching grant, like we just went through for the skid.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
and
okay.
if anyone wonders, yes, we did get the $10,000 of the matching grant for the skid. And I did, that was one of the, information I didn't mean to interrupt, but if I don't tell you, I'll forget. It just goes into your state receipts, so it can be spent, it doesn't have to be spent specifically. It just goes into the fire fund in the state receipts, and then it can be spent on,
Have they sent you a story yet?
I'm sorry,
Just got to that.
Okay.
um,
I didn't know if they'd send it to her or to you.
They sent to her, and she just gave it to me tonight.
yeah, it actually was in the mail. When I got the mail out of the box, there was a ODNR letter, so I just handed it to him so you could open it.
And this grant from the BWC there, it's $40,000 per department,
What does PWC stand for?
for workman's comp.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was, so I'm sure.
Is that a matching grant, Jim?
Pardon?
Matching grant?
It's a 3-to-1, we pay 25% of it. And the quote I got for the tools already is around just a little over $28,000.
So you're gonna, that's the one you're gonna put towards the tool, right?
Correct. And then the one from the ODNR, like I say, we like to, look at the forestry hose, which is a 1-inch hose, single jacket. A lot easier to drag through the brush than our regular power hose.
You're done.
And that's all I've got.
Anything else?
I didn't have anything else. Oh, I did have one. I don't know if you guys can help me or not. I got the auto parts, invoices. Usually, when you guys go to buy something, you get the blue, and then usually that night or the next morning, I get an email copy of what you guys spent as well. I was able to match everything up except for an invoice on 11/22, and unfortunately, all it says is shop. And because this was yesterday, I did not have time to call, cause I am back to work, but I didn't have time to actually call Napa to find out what it is. I don't know, cause I don't have a blue copy, and I didn't get a email copy. So I don't know if somebody
Yeah,
erroneously,
Yeah.
it's $212.65. And I didn't know if it got accidentally put on our bill by mistake. I don't know what it is. I'll call them tomorrow, but I thought, well, we're having a meeting tonight, I thought I'd ask you guys, maybe it would ring a bell. But as I said, I don't have a blue copy, nor do I have an email copy, which was just kind of odd. So I didn't pay the invoice. It's not due till the 31st of December, but everything else is accounted for, in that particular time frame.
I don't know what would have been that we spent that much money for.
It was your week, so, but it doesn't, that doesn't make it whole beans, but I have no idea what it's for. So, and as I said, I don't know if it's actually us or if it was erroneously put on our bill by mistake.
I was over here that Monday. Is that what it is?
Sorry, that's the last thing that I have.
So it was a Tuesday. You said the 22nd?
Yes, it was the 22nd.
It was a Tuesday.
Okay, I
It was
wasn't-
2 days before Thanksgiving.
There's only one, I can cut that frame on it. I have no clue.
There's not blue copies in the truck yet somewhere. Them probably guys.
RC,
I'll call them on the way to work tomorrow.
One in
to
the
find
truck
out,
somewhere.
because I said I thought I'd start here with you guys first. I thought maybe you would ring a bell, cause as I said, I don't have a email copy, nor do I have a blue copy to go with it. I'm typing up a note, for the Athens Messenger. Put in the paper as soon as possible at the year-end, meeting.
And them guys, remember, you still need to see here, right?
Yeah, I need an invoice. I mean, if it is ours, I mean, I can call them and have them email me one, but as I said, it's just weird that I don't have either one.
It's ours.
Alright, anything else?
Just the ongoing repair of the red dump truck. That's the biggest thing we got going right now.
Yep.
Mowing roadsides, like Jerry just said, these barn breakdowns. We'll get them all beat back.
Now I'm trying to get the snow equipment ready. I'm working on it. I get that in the shop, change the cutting here, doing it,
Yep, it's gone.
working on that dang shutter box there at all day. And get started to work. Think I found the problem. I'm gonna have to run them more.
We're gonna try getting cinders.
Huh?
We're gonna try getting cinders.
I don't know where we need any or not, for sure.
I heard they're going quick, so that's all I heard.
We're gone.
They're going quick.
Yeah.
Didn't we get them, like Belmont or
Yeah.
someplace?
Yes, that's why I'm asking.
You're not,
Okay.
they're not gonna haul anymore?
They're running out.
Oh. Maybe we ought to have a couple loads brought in just for safety.
Can't foresee how much snow, so yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Just have them haul 2 loads in.
2 loads.
Well, you guys have $32,000, $32,722 in your road and bridge.
Call them tomorrow. Call them tomorrow,
I mean,
and get 2 loads.
if we're running out, well, you know, it's just like limestone. It's really hard to get limestone right now.
Yeah.
So everything's running out, I don't understand it. Yeah, 15 more loads coming.